So this is the last topic of this module, that is Indian IT Act 2000 and amendments. So the IT Act, or you can say Information Technological Act of 2000. So the main intention of this particular act was aimed at providing the legal infrastructure for e-commerce in India. That is anything done in electronic mode. That is some data interchange that might have happened, or you might have purchased something online. So during that time, some which is not legal, something like that might have occurred. So for all those, they thought they need to have a act or a law like that. Okay. So in the year 2000, that is in 17th October 2000, a law was put forward, that is your IT Act. That is, you can say ITA Act 2000. So that was initially put forward in 17th October 2000. So this bill was passed in the budget session and was approved by the president, the then president, Mr. K.R. Narayan, and it was signed, in 2000 of, or you can say 9th June of the year 2000. So this bill, we can say this bill was finalized by some officials, who were headed by the then Minister of Information Technology, Mr. Pramod Mahajan. He was the head of that particular group of officials. And the original act, when it was initially done, it contained 94 sections, and which was divided into 13 chapters. That was a thing. So here, that's what we say here, aimed at providing legal infrastructure, that is anything that has happened online. So for that, some law need to be there. So keeping that in mind, this ITA 2000 was implemented. So it received the assent of the president. That's already I've told. The then president, Mr. K.R. Narayanan, he had approved it. The government of India felt the need to enact relevant cyber laws to regulate internet-based computer-related transaction. So anything that has happened online, anything that has happened in the electronic mode. So for that, some cyber laws or some rules and regulation need to be implemented. So that was the main intention of this law. So any transaction that has happened online. So for all those, some law need to be there. So that was the main intention here. It manages all aspects, issues, legal consequences, and conflicts. Anything that has happened in the cyberspace or internet, or you can say www, that is your World Wide Web. So all those, in terms of law, it was there in this IT Act of 2000. So, in the preamble to the Indian IT Act of 2000, it is mentioned that it is an act to provide legal recognition for transaction carried out by means of electronic data interchange and other means of electronic communication, which is commonly referred as electronic commerce or e-commerce. So what is the meaning of this statement? So anything that has happened online, anything you might have purchased online, or anything, some online internet banking you might have done. So for all those, some law is there. That is nothing but your Indian IT Act of 2000. Okay. So electronic communication, when you say, it can involve the use of, other than paper. Instead of using paper, you're doing it in electronic mode. That is alternatives to paper based method of communication, and also storing of your information. It's not like you're writing down somewhere, but you're just stored in the electronic form. So to facilitate electronic filling of some document, it might be with any government agencies also. For all this, to make sure that everything is happening in the legal way. So for that, this law was implemented. So other purpose of this IT Act was to amend the Indian Penal Code, that is, you can say, as IPC, and along with that, Indian Evidence Act, of 1872, and Bankers Book Evidence of 1891, as well as Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934. All this, but here we are concerned with only the things that is happening in terms of cybercrime. Okay, so cybercrime, when you say it is it is punishable in our country under various Indian law. We will see what are the different laws. So we are going to see, that is what here we have different sections. So one of the thing, if you are speaking about section 65, so under that section, we can say that is Indian Copyright Act. That is any person who knowingly makes or takes somebody else's work. Okay, that is your copyright. Who knowingly makes or has his position or any plate for the purpose of making some copy of that. So suppose I have written something, so I am the actual owner of that. But if somebody else is trying to reproduce that in then it will be a punishable act, punishable up to extent of 2 years with fine. And also some other laws which include, if anybody is sending some pornographic or obscene emails to somebody else, even that is punishable. That is under section 67 of the IT Act. So an offense under this section is punishable on first conviction, or imprisonment can happen. That imprisonment can go up to 5 years, and also some fine also might be imposed, which might go up to 1 lakh rupees. So here what we are saying, according to the law, what and all are there. So one law, that is section 65, it is related to Copyright Act, wherein if somebody is trying to reproduce other person's content, he might be or he will be punished if he is proven guilty, and he might be imprisoned also to up to 2 years with fine. And the second thing is, according to section 67, that is anybody sending some pornographic or some obscene emails, that is also punishable, and imprisoned might be there up to 5 years with fine, which might go up to 1 lakh. That is a thing. And also emails that are defamatory, or defamatory in the sense, you are trying to spoil somebody's name, you can say like that, which are defamatory in nature, even that is punishable. So for that you have another section 500, that is under Indian Penal Code. That in that case again, imprison might be there up to 2 years. Along with that, some fine also might be there. Or if somebody is sending some threatening emails, like I have many a times, even you all might have got something like that, wherein a person might be saying that I have access to your computer, or I will take the images that is stored in your computer, and I will morph it in some other way, and I will post it in the social media, something like that. So such kind of threatening emails, if anybody is sending, even that is punishable, or it is a criminal act. Okay. And email spoofing, that is again under IPC, it will be regarded, or it is regarded as a fraud. That is cheating by personation. That is, if the mail is of person A, B might try to get the details or login details of that particular mail ID, and B might act as he is person A, and he might try to post something, or he might try to send some email to somebody else. So all those are punishable. Okay. So those are some of the punishable acts under your IT law. So in your textbook, there is a table that is given. So here, out of there are many laws, so we will just concentrate on this section, that is section 65, 66, 67, 71, 72, 73, and 74, with respect to cybercrime. Okay. So make sure these laws you know, or the sections you know what it is. Okay. This is everything related to law. Okay. So I'll just show you 1 second. Mm, One second. So we'll be speaking about sections of chapter 9. Okay. So chapter 9, that's what we already saw, that is including offenses. So first we'll be speaking about section 65. So section 65 is related to tampering with computer source document. So whether knowingly or unknowingly, or you can say intentionally, you can say, instead of unknowingly, let's say like this: somebody who is intentionally trying to destroy, or is trying to alter, or intentionally he is trying to cause some modification to some data, or destroy some data of that is stored in any computer, or computer source, or some computer program. Okay. So that is the law here, under section 65, that is tampering with computer source document. So anybody intentionally trying to make some modification. So when the computer source code is required to be kept or maintained by law, for the time, for some stipulated time, if you say. So if somebody is trying to modify that, then in that case it is a punishable offense. And again, imprison might be there, which can go up to 3 years. And so a fine might be there, which can go up to 2 lakhs. Okay. So that is what it says: tampering with computer source document, wherein somebody intentionally tries to modify the data which is there in the computer, either modify, you can say, or alter, or destroy also. Okay. So next is in section 66. In section 66, what it says: computer related offense. So whoever with an intention to cause, or knowing that he is likely to cause any loss or damage to the public or any person, destroys or deletes, or you can say alters or manipulates any information that is there in the computer resource, or in other way he is trying to reduce its value, or it's like injury by any means. So all this comes under computer related offense. So whoever is performing, or whoever commits hacking, shall be punished with an imprisonment up to 3 years, and again a fine which might go up to 5 lakhs, or both might be there. 3 years he might be imprisoned, and along with that he might have to pay 5 lakhs as a fine. So that is your section 66. Then under section 67, that is punishment for publishing or transmitting obscene materials in electronic form. So whoever publishes, or forwards, or transmits, or causes it to be published in the electronic form means it can be either in through mail, or you're posting it somewhere, or through form of YouTube, or somewhere wherever you're posting in electronic form, or any material which is like threatening somebody, or something which is corrupt. Okay. In that case also it is a punishable act. Again, imprison might be there, which can extend up to 3 years, along with the fine of 5 lakhs. And it is also extended, it can go up to 10 lakhs also. Okay. And imprisonment also can be extended up to 5 5 years. So 3 to 5 years, along with that fine of up to 5 to 10 lakhs. That is your 67. So 67 says that publishing, or transmitting, or forwarding some obscene materials in the electronic form. Then after 67, you have section 71, wherein penalty for misrepresentation. So whoever makes any misrepresentation, or he is trying to hide any fact, okay, which is true, he might be trying to hide it. the controller or the certifying authority of obtaining any license or any digital certificate, as in that case he might be punished up to 2 years, and again a fine might be imposed up to 1 lakh of rupees. Okay, anything like misrepresenting, not giving the right one. So other day in news, if you're saying, there was some cases like just give the Aadhaar card and they give the death certificate, so they don't even check whether that person is actually dead or not. So such kind of thing, without checking or giving a wrong information, even though the person is alive, his death certificate is ready there. So all those things, they are some misrepresentation or suppressing some fact. Okay, so such kind of thing in terms of electronic form comes under section 71. Next, in 72, penalty for breach of confidentiality and privacy. So you are trying to enter into, or somebody's privacy is harmed, such kind of thing, that is uh, s- uh, penalty or breach of confidentiality. So that is, you can say, any person who is having some power, or who is conferred under this act or under this regulation. He might try to get access of some electronic record or some information, overall you can say as information, or some register book or something, without the consent of that person. Okay, so anybody's information, if you want to take, then his consent is required, but without his consent, if you're doing something, means again it is a crime there. So there are all the possibility that person can file a case on you. So again, that is nothing but penalty of breach of confidentiality and privacy, because in that case somebody is trying to get into somebody else's information without his knowledge. So again, in that case, imprisonment might be there, which can go up to 2 years, and with the fine of 1 lakh rupees. So that is your section 72, that is breach of confidentiality and privacy. And under 73, you have penalty for publishing digital signature certificate false in certain particulars. So nobody should publish a digital certificate or digital signature certificate and make it available to any other person without the knowledge that certifying authority listed in the certificate has not issued. Means all the digital certificates should be issued by the certifying authority only, and the subscribers listed in the certificate has not accepted it in that case, or certificate has not been revoked or suspended unless publication is for the purpose of verifying a digital signature that is carried out before suspension or some revocation. So again, here also many case, just few days back they were saying that uh, government has told, as anybody who has taken vaccination, please don't post that certificate in any of the social media, because there are all the possibility that somebody might collect your information, and he might misuse it. So we have to be careful while posting any of those kind of information wherein your personal data is there. Okay, so and also one more thing in this is, any person that is anybody person will be punished, or he might be imprisoned if he is coming under this kind of thing, that is publishing some digital signature which is false in nature. Okay, and under section 74, we have publication of purpose, or publication for fraudulent purpose. So whoever knowingly, with an intention or purposefully, creates and publishes, or other way you can say, makes available a digital signature for any fraudulent, or with an intention to perform, or with an intention to do a fraudulent task, or anything which is not lawful. Okay, or you can say any unlawful purpose, In that case, the person will be punished with an imprisonment which can go up to 2 years, and fine which might go up to 1 lakh of rupees. Okay, so all these are the different sections, uh, that is, you can say, under the IT Act. And also some amendments also have been done, or some changes also has been done. Usually one of the change, that is in 66, that is, we already saw 66, that is computer related of offenses. So amendments are nothing but some changes that has been done. So as we said, this IT Act was implemented, or it was signed in the year 2000. So amendment or some modification was done in 2008. So one of the amendment was in section 66A, wherein sending offensive message. So in that case, punishment was there, is there, not was, is there, wherein imprisonment has extended up to 3 years along with the fine. And also a modification in 66, that is some addition, you can say, in 66B, that is receiving a stolen computer resource. If you're purchasing some computer which is stolen one, intentionally you know it, and still you purchase it, or still you take it, so again in that case imprisonment will be there, which will extend up to 3 years, and a fine of 1 lakh, or both might be there. So that is under section 66A and 66B. And the next amendment was 66C, that is identity theft. Identity theft means you are trying to impose as another person without that person's knowledge. So again in that case also an imprisonment will be there, which will be extended up to 3 years, and also fine of 1 lakh rupees. And one more amendment was done, that is in 66D, that is cheating by personation. That is, again, you're trying to cheat, it might be in terms of money or any other matter, but in electronic mode here, since it is an IT Act. Cheating by personation, you try to act as, so that also has happened. If you see in FB, many people post saying that my profile has been a duplicate profile has been created with my profile picture, and in that profile they are asking money with the people who are there in the friend list. So even you might have seen all those sorts wherein people are posting like that. So if anybody is asking money in my name, please don't give anything. So that is what cheating by personation. So if the person is found guilty doing this, again he can be imprisoned up to 3 years with a fine of up to which can extend up to 1 lakh rupees. And one more amendment, that is 66E, that is violation of privacy. Violation of privacy is without the knowledge of a person, you are trying to get his data, or enter into his computer and access his data. Again here imprisonment can go up to 3 years, or a fine which might go up to 2 lakh, or both 3 years and 2 lakh rupees of fine might be there. And the next amendment is 66F, that is cyber terrorism. We know about this, right? Cyber terrorism, wherein even the government websites are also hacked, right? So again, in this case, also imprisonment, along with that, fine of up to which has increased from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Okay, so again some other changes that has happened in 67, in section 67. So 67A was introduced, in that introduced, which is covering materials which is containing some sexually explicit act, if anything of that sort. Maybe somebody is doing some MMS or whatever, or somebody's picture they're taking and morphing it and they're posting it. So all those things comes under section 67A, that is the amendment, that is some addition or modification or changes that has happened to the original one, where that is involving sexually explicit act. So in this case punishment can go up to 5 years with the fine of up to 10 lakh rupees. And next was 67B. In that 67B is covering child explicit act. So any nuisance that is done with the children. So in the previous session we have already seen, it can happen that a criminal might try to come in touch with the children with an intention of performing child pornographic activities. So that all those things comes under your section 67B. Again, in that case also 5 years of imprisonment and 10 lakhs fine will be there. And in section 67C, there is a provision require intermediaries to preserve and retain certain records with respect to that, in case if somebody is trying to alter those records. Again, in that case also 3 years of imprisonment with liable to pay some fine also. And next comes in case of 60. uh, okay, here we have 70. Okay, in the amendment we have for 69A. So here in the section chapter 9 section 69 is not there, but in the amendment 69A, which was introduced to enable blocking of website. So again, there was a news few weeks back saying that WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter, all these things can be banned in our country if they are not following or if they are not agreeing with the rules of our country, right? If you have heard it, have you heard it? Anybody, guys, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody heard about this? There was a news saying that the social media might be banned.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Why? If they are not ready to agree to the IT Act of our country, right? So in section 69A, it introduced to enable blocking of website. So if they are not cooperative, in that case, punishment might be there, which can go up to 7 years, and also some fine. And we have 69B, which was introduced, which provide powers for monitoring and collecting traffic data. So that also was there. So if an intermediary is not cooperative, if they are not agreeing on that to share or to monitor, so that's what the news was saying, that any pornographic sites are there, it should be blocked, all those things. So those things were there. If they're not agreeing on that, so this was one of the point saying that the website should keep a monitor on what and all things that have been visited, all those things. So that is what 69B provides power for monitoring and collecting traffic data. So if they're not cooperative with that, again 5 years of imprisonment with some liable fine. So those are some of the amendments that has happened. So I think you can just remember this section. Okay, the sections you try and remember, because everything is in terms of law. So remembering all the sections is not possible for us, but at least this 65 to 74 you remember. And what are the amendments? So the amendments we saw in 66, 66A, right? 66A, 66B, up to 66F, and also we saw in 67A to 67C, and 69A to 69B. So all these are the few of the amendments. Try to remember at least five. Okay, minimum five you should remember. So this is all about your Indian IT Act. And